The internet can totally see you now. Hello. Greetings. A new DLC for The Surge came out. So we are going to be messing around in New Game Plus today. Experiencing this stuff together. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. I gotta post about this in some places. Like Twitter. Or something awful. Hey, HVeer. Welcome to The Surge. Welcome to the Surge of Tomorrow. Yup. Garfield gets more cyberpunk every day, man. Alright, Hey, Stixer. Hey, Joe Public. Hey, Third Mission. Welcome to The Surge. On Twitter, I said, I've collected all of the new suits for The Surge's new DLC that came out yesterday, so let's mess around with them in New Game Plus. Come see what New Game Plus is like and watch me die embarrassingly. And it's true. I'm going to die embarrassingly. It's true. Vaping. Vaping is pretty cyberpunk. Of all of the things that could be cyberpunk, vaping is definitely one of those. Let me silence my phone. Silence your phones, everybody. You always gotta silence your phone before you watch a movie. And what is a stream if not an interactive movie? Happy birthday, Joe Public. I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy your birthday. The ripe young age of 16. You're 16 all over again, Joe Public. I hope you enjoy it. So, a new DLC came out yesterday for The Surge. And we are going to go to my post in the Something Awful thread for The Surge. My Something Awful thread for The Surge. Not the Let's Play thread, but the one in the game subforum, because I did a big post on all of the suits and what they look like and stuff. Wow, Joe Public, that's impressive. You've lived a lot longer than I probably will. Anyway, a new free DLC came out yesterday, along with a 50% off discount on the complete edition of The Surge. The Surge is $25 right now, including the DLC, which is usually also $10. So fucking buy it. Buy The Surge. The Surge is $25. It's $25. You can't beat it. You cannot beat that price. You probably can beat that price if you wait for maybe the summer sale. But listen, man. The Surge is a really good video game, okay? And you will enjoy it if you enjoyed me playing it while you watch. Like, if you enjoyed me streaming this game and you like action games, you'll probably like The Surge. And so, The Surge is currently 50% off on Steam, and you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to play this really, really, really good video game. What's the DLC all about? I'll show you. A free DLC came out yesterday. An update to the game also came out that adds a couple of new fancy lighting and fog effects and some cool new particle effects. But aside from that, they released a second free pack of new weapons and suits. And here, using my own post that I made on Something Awful, I will show them to you. Here we have the Tenshi Angel 6. It's a big fucking space suit. Here's Warren wearing it. We have the Creo, this word that I don't know how to pronounce. I think this is like the Greek god of health or something, right? Or medicine, something like that. But it's a creepy science experiment suit. Doesn't really cover your midsection very well. And the Creo Nano Ward, which is a big fucking cultist linebacker outfit. You ever wanted to be a cultist linebacker? Well, here you go. The Greek god of healing. I was technically right. Woo! Here's Warren wearing it. He skipped leg day. The universal symbol for medicine. Oh, okay. It's yeah. Yeah, it's this thing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Anyway, my point is, there's some cool new suits, and I'm gonna show you what New Game Plus is like in the Surge today, because these are all endgame suits. This one you get right at the start of the game. This one you get in abandoned production, but the set bonus isn't really useful until later on in the game. And then these two are like right near the end. No spoilers, by the way, for people who are gonna watch this because of my Let's Play of the game. No fucking spoilers or anything like that. But two of those suits, despite being kind of weirdly geared for the early game, are only found near the end game, so it's very strange. Where's the new weapons? I'll show you the new weapons. They were wielding the new weapons in the screenshots, but I'll show you the new weapons. Let's start up the Surge. Oh wait, no, shit. I can't start up the Surge yet. No, close the Surge. Stop. I have to make sure my controller is properly plugged in here. It is! Good. Why isn't it lighting up then? Oh, there it goes. It just took a second. No, I am not, in fact, Stixer, because I am using one of the DLC weapons. I mean, that's the good thing about this being in New Game Plus, is that we can wear pretty much whatever we want. So we'll be. I'm gonna give you the free choice of what I wear first. We're gonna check out all three of the suits because they're all pretty fun, but some of them are better for the early game than others. So I played through the game yesterday. Well, this is an old save that I just finished, but I collected all of the suits and I rushed my way to New Game Plus. So I'm probably gonna get owned. But who knows? I might not get owned, and it might go really well. Be naked and live stream that. You know, a no armor run of this game would be really hard, but it would be interesting at least. Okay, let me turn up the game on you a little bit. I must turn up the Surge. Turn up for what? Yeah, right. I'm gonna be naked. I'm gonna be naked in the game also. I might need to turn up my volume options here. Cool, it's already at 100%. Why is it so quiet? Oh, I know why it's so quiet. It's because I have it turned down in the Windows volume equalizer. Okay, now you should be able to hear it just fine. Hey, Redshirt17. You're right. You're just in time to watch me get owned. we're gonna be starting a fresh New Game Plus game. I'm gonna be inadvertently showing off footage of New Game Plus for the Let's Play. Hooray! Let's do it. Yeah, we've already seen this. Oh, we do get to experience the wheelchair tech. Oh, Base Slut will be pleased, because Base Slut was disappointed that we wouldn't get to see wheelchair tech. But check it out, we get to see wheelchair tech. Yeah.
Please proceed directly to registration.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't go to 69 power level.
Welcome to registration.
What happens when you try to go upstairs? He just won't do it.
And the right person to wield it.
You just can't. You can't force Warren to take his wheelchair upstairs, unfortunately. How to please your woman? Show off your wheelchair tech. It pleases me. I don't know about her. I do want to live life in the fast lane. So my favorite thing about New Game Plus is how it starts. This is probably my favorite thing, because the game starts out pretty much the same, with one minor difference that I didn't look at because I don't want to spoil it for the Let's Play. But the intro here is probably my favorite thing. Oh, did I accidentally turn the camera in that direction? Yeah, there's a giant blood smear there in New Game Plus for some reason. Anyway, welcome to the Surge. I don't know why that giant blood smear is there. Just for fun, I guess. Whoops. That's my fault. I shouldn't have looked in that direction. Here it comes. You have been it's great because the first thing that happens is the enemy just gets fucking splattered. It's like it's a good introduction to these new enemies that they introduce in New Game Plus, because in my opinion, the best way to introduce you to them is to just throw you right into the fray and say good luck. So these guys are new in New Game Plus. For those of you that have not seen the Surge in New Game Plus, one new addition are a bunch of these fucking guys. Basically, they're like super zombies. They are made out of cobbled together armor pieces, and they hurt. They hurt really bad. So this weapon I'm using, the Dark Star, is the weapon of the Nano Ward set, the final of the DLC suits, and it's quite good. I mean, I've just started New Game Plus, so it's not upgraded with any of the New Game Plus materials yet, but it's, oh boy, this thing is crazy. I gotta get around this man. Oh, I don't think you can backstab these guys. Or if you can, I wasn't in the right spot. Christ! These super zombies, they do a lot of damage. Wow. Welcome to New Game Plus, everybody. But yes, the Experiment 44H Dark Star is one of the new weapons. It's pretty great. But yeah, if you are punished accordingly for being unprepared for New Game Plus. So, like I said, I kind of rushed my way here, stats-wise and stuff, so it's gonna be interesting. So this is, New Game Plus is where targeting unarmored body parts becomes kind of important, because armor gets like a little bonus to like damage protection in New Game Plus, so you gotta be a little wary. Did you say New Game Plus? So I'm currently wearing the Search and Rescue set, which we have not seen yet in the Let's Play. It is the gear of it. It is well, I actually have one piece of it, but it is the armor that Helvig is wearing when you fight him as a boss. So hey, look, fucking spoilers. Spoilers, you can wear Helvig's armor. And it's actually really good. It increases the number of healing items you have. Like, it adds an extra one for every one you're carrying. So that's why I have 12 healing items here. So something that's interesting about New Game Plus in the Surge is that unlike a certain video game that starts with Dark and ends with Souls, the Surge continues its upgrade path into like New Game Plus 5. Like we will get an entirely new set of upgrade materials for this playthrough, and then there's another new set in the next playthrough, and then there's another new set. And I think it goes all the way up to like Mark 20, but it's pretty good. Like you can get some crazy high stats. But anyway, yeah, the Nano Ward wand is basically like it's basically a sword, but it attacks at like twice the speed of a sword, and it's also got like a bunch of like flippy spinny moves that are really good because it hits twice. Let's see, what are the alternate attacks? Oh, look at that! Yeah. But yeah, it's got good attacks. Fuck you, Sally. I don't want to talk to you. I have no interest in talking to Sally. So in a moment, we'll put on one of the extra, or rather, one of the DLC suits. It's just that I didn't have enough parts to actually make any of the DLC suits, so I don't actually have any of them like leveled up right now. So we're gonna have to do that in a moment. What's the Cutting Edge pack do for you? That's what it does for you. It adds 3 new suits and a new weapon for each suit, which I explained a minute ago, but we'll see them in person instead of in my Something Awful post in just a moment. Once I restart the Ops Center. Hey, by the way, how is the frame rate on the capture? Like, is this running at 60 frames a second for you? Like, watching this, is it like stuttering or hitching at all? Because watching back the stream of Fear 3, it seems like it dropped down to 30 at sometimes for some reason. How do you actually get the suits? You have to find the guys in the game world and kill them to get their parts, just like anything else. So they added a bunch of new enemies tucked away in like hidden corners for you to find, which are wearing the suits and carrying the weapons. Looks fine. Frame rate seems okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. Well, first things first. I'm going to put on. I think I have another ancillary core around here somewhere. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna put on that ancillary core so that I can carry around more stuff. Yeah, it's kind of like the Fire and Ice DLC. So the Fire and Ice DLC replaces pre-existing enemies. It just gives them the different weapons. But this DLC adds new enemies, which is, you know, it's not a super important distinction, but basically now there are going to be even more enemies running around. So here we have, let me find, yeah, sorted by newest. So, here we have the Nano Ward armor. We have the armor I'm not even going to try to pronounce, a sleepy dwarf, a sleepy elf body gear. And then the Angel 6 body gear. And I already have them. It's like this is a cooking show almost. I already have them in my inventory, so I can just put them on. Look at that. Creepy. Ugh. Grody. And this one comes with this weapon, the Last Aid, which is a dual claw weapon. It's interesting because the dual claw weapon doesn't actually seem special in any way. It just seems like a pretty crazy claw weapon. But you can do backflips with it, I think. Yeah. Yep. And then we've got codename Engelhart. And the Angel 6 body gear looks a little silly on Warren. Like it's very puffy. He looks like a giant marshmallow. It looks a little silly.
Have a nice day, Warren.
The Fury. And then the last one is the Nano Ward set. Gotta find that in my inventory here. It's like a cultist linebacker. Ugh. I like the mask. The mask is cool. The mask is... I like the... I don't... It's doesn't really look like something that someone would actually wear. Like, it looks like it was specifically made to look creepy.
Shouldn't you be at your designated work site?
So, okay. The set bonuses for these armor sets. The Nano Ward set. Well, here, I'll just fucking demonstrate the Nano Ward set for
Please
you.
remember,
Yep.
safety at work is our highest priority and should be yours.
Bring it! Oh, I gotta... Oh, see, timing a perfect block is weird in this game. There you go! So if you time a block perfectly while wearing the Nano Ward set, it'll do a big explosion that knocks the enemy over. And it also... there you go. It also decreases the stamina consumed when you successfully block an attack. Meanwhile, let's put on the Angel 6 gear. Just for comparison, real quick. We'll keep the helmet off. The Angel 6 gear makes it so that any weapon that is a codename weapon, like its own weapon here, or maybe this one, any weapon with codename in the title swings faster, builds more energy, basically is just better when you're wearing the set. So without it, that's pretty slow. But with the set, it's a little bit faster. It's not much faster, but it is nice. It is nice if you're going to use heavy weapons. Oh, good job, Baselet. Baselet killed the Taurus demon. Good job. And then what's the last one? Right, this one. So the final set is really interesting. It has a really good bonus. It's like way better than either of the others. I can't really demonstrate this one, so I'll just show it to you. It increases the healing of Medivoltaic implants while decreasing the energy cost to trigger it. And in addition to that, when you have that equipped, like when I have it like like equipped so that when I hit circle, it'll use it. I restore health when I am on full energy and attacking enemies. It's like way better than the other two sets, and it's so strange that you only find it at the very end of the game. It's very strange.
Welcome, Warren.
But yeah, they have very interesting and cool set bonuses. Like the set bonuses of all of the suits in this game are really, really interesting and unique. Like, it's a good way to encourage you to play in different ways, you know? But anyway, we don't have any of these suits upgraded right now, so if I actually wear them, I'm gonna get my shit pushed in. But let's see if I have any upgraded materials, or any upgrade materials here. I sure don't. And I can't upgrade them to, like, anything below 6, because I'm in New Game Plus now. So... if it's that good, the designers probably don't want you leaning on it the entire game. Well, that's the weird thing about this, right? The weird thing about this DLC is that the Tenshi suit is the first one you get, but the Tenshi suit is literally useless. You don't have any codename weapons when you get the thing. Like, the only codename weapon you are guaranteed to have when you get that suit, because it's in this area, is the one that comes with its weapon set. And you don't get another codename weapon set for a while. And it's heavy armor. So, like, you can't even really wear it when you get it. It's very strange placement. Because the light armor set is so much more useful for the early game. Maybe not to the point where it will break the game. Like, the healing isn't that much. It's not that advantageous. But even so, like, it would be so much more useful to have this at the start than this one. And then this one can stay last, because, I mean, you're going to be blocking stuff a lot more in the end game anyway, because, and plus, its weapon is fucking crazy. But yeah, it's very strange. So, I don't know. What do you want me to wear first? What do you think? What should we dick around with? Do you want me to wear the football linebacker set, or maybe the space suit, or maybe the healing stuff, you know, show off how useful it is in practice. You know, we've got ample power supply to wear any of them, so space suit. Okay. We will put on the space suit first. I like the space suit the best, I think. I think the Tenshi suit is probably like, it's probably my favorite of the three. Because it's so, like, different than anything else in the game. Like, it's so... like, nothing else in the game looks like this. Oh, by the way! Most important thing of all. The most important aspect of this DLC in general. New jumpsuits! You get new jumpsuits for Warren. You get a space jumpsuit. You get a medical-looking jumpsuit. And then you get, like, a Commander Shepard jacket jumpsuit. Yeah! Oh! You get a new jumpsuit for each armor set. So, yeah, now we can properly look the part. Look at that. Space! Okay.
Please remember,
let's go beat some stuff up.
Safety at work is our highest priority and should be yours.
I will say that the one downside of the spacesuit is that the giant marshmallow shoulders make it a little bit hard to see. Yeah, it's great. You can wear those jumpsuits right from the start of the game, too. Like, you don't need to actually unlock the suits in order to get their appropriate jumpsuits. You can just wear those as soon as you get them. So, I'm using, like, an inappropriate weapon for the spacesuit because, you know... oh, yeah! By the way, the spacesuit has a big fucking crazy red floodlight, which is, like... it's not what I expected the headlamp for this suit to look like. Anyway, I'm using a pretty inappropriate weapon for for this suit, because remember, the set bonus for this one is the codename weapons. So that's what we're gonna do first. Is we're gonna get some upgrade materials, and then we're gonna upgrade our codename weapons. Those are probably oxygen tanks or thrusters, as opposed to marshmallows. Well, yes, yes, they're probably oxygen tanks. In fact, I wonder if it'll say if we look at the description of the arms. No, it doesn't. Okay then. But even so, I like to refer to them as marshmallows anyway. Ah, there you go. They're marshmallow dispensers. Oh, this is fun. So this is the first time I have actually played the Surge since the last speedrun I did, and game's still fun. Game's still fun. And reminder for those of you that have tuned in just now and not earlier when I said this, the Surge, thanks to this DLC, is currently being sold at a 50% off discount, including all of the DLC. So you can get the Surge and 3 DLCs, two suit packs, and a walk in the park for $25. And if you don't want the DLC, you can get the base game for $20. Like, it's such a good deal. It's such a good deal for this good-ass video game. Like they have supported this with two free DLCs that add so much more content that actually matters, you know? Stuff that actually is important to the player. You know, new suits, that's the only thing you care about. And the paid DLC, I think I have shown off in the Let's Play, is like so worth your money. It adds so much variety. Needed variety. And this game is only $40 by default. God, I love this game! I'm a big fan of the Surge, you guys. So we can pick up all of the implants from the first playthrough again, and it's interesting actually that they provide you a way to get certain implants that are one time only. Like we can now get copies of we can now get copies of implants that you can normally only get one iteration of. Like, New Game Plus is really worth playing in this game. It adds a lot.
Happy to help.
I'm telling you, man, this game is great. Do the other armor sets have cool lights? Oh man, we're gonna find out once I put them on. When I eventually get to wearing them. All right, we have enough parts now, and I have a bunch of scrap from the last playthrough. So let's let us upgrade. This. And we need a little bit more. And way down at the bottom of the list. And this. What? Oh, I still don't have enough. Crap. There we go. The one downside of this, I think, is that the inventory gets pretty crowded. What with all of these suits added by the DLCs and all that stuff. So one cool thing about the space suit is that it as the set bonus implies, it affects anything that has the code name in the title, which is also kind of cool, because that means that it affects the other weapons from the other DLC, because the weapons from the other free DLC all have the code name designation. I know, get a load of this gun to mass armor. But yes, this game has so much to offer the player. It's really cool. It's like, you can really tell that the developers of this game really like the Surge. And you know what? I don't blame them, because I also really like the Surge. Yeah, this thing's good. No spoilers for the end of the game, of course, but this is one of the last weapons that you pick up in the game. We're in a weird spot right now. See, I don't want to spoil anything because people watching this might be watching the Let's Play, and you know, I'm gonna post this in the Let's Play thread because, like, other than this, I don't have any footage of Let's Play of New Game Plus, so this will be my footage of New Game Plus. Oh boy. But also, I'm carrying around some weapons and stuff that we're not going to see in the Let's Play for a very long time. Oh god. I think I might have to switch out of this for now until I can upgrade it. Because, reminder, this armor's not upgraded at all.
Look out for your fellow workers.
I don't know. We'll stick with it. See, the thing is, I just have to not get hit, you know? And that's easy. What do you think I am, bad at video games? No. I'm great at video games. I never get hit, ever. Yeah, the Fall Creators update for Windows 10 broke a lot of stuff, didn't it? Kind of annoying. You see that you see that post about how the Windows Fall Creators update broke, like, Wacom tablets? Wacom tablets, because they turned on, like, Windows Pen or whatever automatically, which, like, makes tablets just not work in Photoshop anymore. So, like, now, in order to use such a tablet, you have to go into the Windows settings and turn off Windows Pen, or whatever it is, or Microsoft Pen, or whatever. Why can't they just leave that shit alone? I don't get it. Like, it was fine, and it was working, and what they have doesn't work. So just don't turn your shit on. Like, if people want to use it, they'll find it and use it. I don't get it, man. Whack'em sock'em robots. But yeah, the Microsoft Pen shit has been disrupting a lot of artists, and I've seen lots of posts going around being very angry at the Fall Creators update. Oh, it's good to be playing the Surge again, man. I miss playing this game, because, like, other than my speedruns that I was doing, I haven't actually played this game, like, just to play it since yesterday. And it's nice. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be back with the game I so enjoy. It's really interesting how they decided to do New Game Plus in this game, because, like, they made it so that if you are appropriately prepared and leveled, like, you will have, like, a pretty not so hard time outside of having to collect the upgrade materials and stuff and upgrade your suits again. But if you are unprepared, like, you're not necessarily at a disadvantage. Like, they pretty much just made it so that it's like starting a new game, which is really cool. Like, I really wish that it was that way for, like, I don't know, Dark Souls, or maybe, like, more recently, Nioh, where, like, the harder difficulties on Nioh are just get, like, they have the Borderlands problem, and Dark Souls does as well, where, like, stuff ends up doing, like, more and more damage, like, in greater and greater amounts until you can't keep up, and then it's just like, you're fucked. You can't go any further. Unless you're doing, like, a crazy, insane min-max build. But with the Surge's New Game Plus is balanced so that, like, every New Game Plus cycle is like starting a new game, but with your current supplies, which is really cool. Also, there's these fucking super zombies, and these things are insane. They're crazy. They do so much damage. But also, remember, I haven't upgraded this armor at all. But what's nuts about these guys is that, like, not only do they do a ton of damage, they also have, like, the same moveset you do, which makes them super dangerous. It's nuts. But yeah, I don't... All of my proficiency... Well, see... All of my proficiency on this playthrough is in one-handed weapons, because I was doing a challenge run where I only use the first shitty weapon you start with, and it actually becomes quite viable once you upgrade it. But it was so all of my proficiency is in one weapon. Maybe the DLC outfits should be put away until you can upgrade them. Yeah, that's seeming like a good idea. Maybe I should... maybe for now, let's put the search and rescue gear back on. We don't have to wear it right away. We will go back to using the... Oh, where is it? We will go back to using the Dark Star, though, because the Dark Star is fun.
Have a nice day, Warren.
The computer is so nice to me. I'm glad that the computer is kind. But yes, the Dark Star is clearly the standout here, given how fucking fast it attacks. Like, this thing is crazy. It's so crazy. Like, it's very strange, because, like, with the way that these suits are laid out, the Nanoward set and this weapon will be the last weapon you pick up in the entire game. So clearly this weapon is geared towards New Game Plus, but it's so weird to me, because the final boss's weapon is pretty much the same. Like, it's not much different from this weapon. Well, the special kill weapon isn't. The normal kill weapon is pretty different. But my point is, right, like, like, I don't understand why this didn't come around, like, the middle of the game, right? Like, the suits themselves are just in a very strange order, and they're balanced really weirdly. I don't know. Like, if it were me, right, if it were me, I would have put the Nanoward set in the middle of the game, the light armor set at the start of the game, and then the Tenshi set at the end of the game. Because, like, by the time you got the Tenshi set, if it were at the end of the game, you would be able to actually make use of it, because you'd have a bunch of codename weapons. And by comparison, at the start of the game, neither it nor the other heavy set are really all that useful. See, well, that's what I was gonna do, actually, Stixer. I was gonna use Cheat Engine to just give myself a bunch of parts so that I wouldn't have to, like, worry about that and I could just play. But the cheat engine for the game had to be updated, and since the update came out yesterday, it hadn't been updated and it doesn't work. So we're doing this the old-fashioned way. We're doing this legit. Oh man, this weapon is probably even crazier with the Lynx set, because, like, the Lynx set increases the speed at which you attack. So, like, this... Oh man, with the Lynx set, this thing's probably terrifying. That's right, Ryan. We have a whole new DLC for the Surge. We got new suits, we got new weapons, and I'm playing in New Game Plus because... Fuck, why not? Wow! Wow. One hit. And this armor is upgraded, too. Jesus. Is most of this damage from your proficiency? Not all of it, but most of it, yes. Because you can see that the Dark Star scales very high with proficiency. So, like, if you use it in your game, you probably will do slightly less damage. But, we need to do something about this. Let's put on some of these, maybe. It still does pretty good damage, even so. Let's give me even more health. And also a reclamation buddy so that I can get more scrap.
Have a nice day, Warren.
One hit. One hit was all it took, man. I'm telling you, these new enemies, they don't fuck around. Like, these new guys are a good example of how unprepared I am for New Game Plus. But it's okay. I have found that it's pretty much always a struggle, actually. Like, in New Game Plus itself, the enemies are balanced pretty well for a new playthrough, but these special zombie guys, they are crazy. They do so much damage. Oh. Like, even on playthroughs where I am properly prepared for it, I still get stuck. How much damage does proficiency actually add? I'm not sure. I am unclear on exactly how much proficiency does benefit you, but it's pretty significant once it starts getting to the higher levels. Do I have a full Link set? I think I do. I do have the full Link set. Well, let's put this on and see how fast I attack with it. Jeez! That's pretty nuts, dude. That's... Wow. So yeah, the Dark Star weapon with the full Link set is pretty nuts combination. Like, the Link set still reigns supreme. Although, you know, it's funny, the Link set is actually not great for New Game Plus, because, you know, everything does a ton of damage, and you want to be wearing at least medium armor. Otherwise, you're gonna get your face pushed in. You can hold the button to equip the full set. Fucking what? Wait a minute. What? Wait. Oh my god, you can! Has that been like that the whole time? Whoa! I never knew you could do that. Wow. I had no idea. I guess I just haven't ever read that option closely enough. Wow. That's pretty useful. Man. Today I learned something I didn't know. Yeah, I had no idea. Alright, let's try this one more time and then I'm running past this guy. It's not worth it. Yeah, that's speedrun tech right there. I do like these fights though, because all of these guys are using different weapons and stuff, and the equipment that they're wearing, the armor is randomized every time you load up the game and come back to this area. So like, it's cool. It's a very cool, like, dynamic fight. It's also a good way to get schematics for parts that you don't have. And also, as you can see, they give you a ton of scrap, so it's worth it to try and fight them. Man, it's really cool that I've played so much of this game, and I'm still learning little stuff that I didn't know. It's really neat. Have I mentioned in the past that I really enjoy this game? Because I do. Like, The Surge is absolutely one of my favorite video games. Like, because it's just fun. Like, the developers know exactly what makes this game fun. And, like, clearly, through these DLC suits and weapons that let you just go crazy with different playstyles, clearly they have an understanding of what players want out of their video game. It's great. It makes me happy. I do wish targeting legs was a little easier, though. I'm really interested to see the improvements that they make to the limb targeting in the next game, because they said that it was going to be improved, and I'm interested to see how. Spacesuit better be in the Surge too. You're damn right it better be. We can only hope. One complaint I do have about New Game Plus though is that upgrading your stuff becomes like way more expensive than the scrap you earn. Like it keeps up pretty well in normal New Game, but as soon as you get to New Game Plus, the cost starts ballooning like way faster than you earn scrap, which is kind of a shame. So the Tenchi guy is over here. So there are two enemies wearing each suit in the areas where they appear. And the first Tenchi suit guy is over there in the corner. I have to be careful not to go over near him. Otherwise I'll have to fight the smelter bot and the guy, and I don't really want to do that. That seems like a bad time. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for that drone to come over here. No, he's not gonna. This way. The Tenchi guy is interesting because, like, he is geared in normal New Game towards being fought the first time you come through this area. Like, he's tough, but the first time you come through here, you will be able to defeat him and get the set. Which is cool, but, like, again, the Tenchi set specifically is not super useful. What is going on with this guy? Like, you won't be able to actually even wear the Tenchi set until at least, like, the third area. Because it costs a lot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's just a really heavy armor set, so it's kind of... It's just not geared for the early game. And maybe that's the point, right? Like, that's fine if that is the point, you know? Like, it's a weapon set that, like, pays off later because you can't really make use of it at the start. It's fine to have that. It's just, you know, with how important it is to this game to have a bunch of different armor sets and stuff available, like, it's kind of weird that they would gear this guy towards when you first come through here when you can't even use his stuff. You can use the weapon, though. The weapon is really useful. I know, he's gorgeous. The suit looks better on him than it does on me. Because on Warren, it's got, like, the open chest, like all of the suits do for him. But, like, on the guy, it doesn't. I just enjoy playing this game. Like, I mostly wanted an excuse to just play this game again. Because, like, the DLC doesn't add anything super substantial, right? Like, it's just a collection of suits that, like, span across the game, you know? So, like, it's worth another playthrough to pick up the new suits if you have finished the game already. But, like, I just wanted an excuse to play the Surge again. Because, like... Oh. Like, there's a reason I've played, like, 200 hours of this game. It's because I really like just playing through it. Ah, you know what? That's true. That's true. Technically, the guy is in an appropriate spot because this is a scrapyard for rockets. So, like, we're in a pretty appropriate place for him specifically. I guess. What I love about the suit is all the goddamn details about on it. Yeah, so here, we'll put it on here and I'll show you something cool about it that I really like. This shows up in a couple of places in the game, actually. We'll put the suit on here and then I will go into NVIDIA Ansel so that we can look at it a little closer. There's a QR code on it. And if you scan this QR code, this is a real QR code that says, like, Tenchi Sys SYS-I-VI, I think it is. It's the serial code for this thing. And look, it's got, like, the logo on it, and it's got, like, pads on the arms. God damn it, you're right. I already forgot that you can hold the button. Damn it. It's got It's got these weird things. What is this? I don't know. Someone had to put that texture there. It's like a weird like wheel thing. It's got like hoses going all over the place. Hey, look, we got the logo and the marshmallows. Man. It's pretty cool. Look at his crotch. Okay. His crotch is a product of Creo. By the way, this DLC comes with a so the other DLC, I don't have it. Oh, I do have it. The other DLC comes with like a list of where the enemies are and where to find them. This one comes with a little notice from Creo. But it's actually not from Creo, if you know what I mean. It's actually from the developers. Hello again, Creo employees. Since we've been getting a lot of questions about our upcoming projects, wink, I thought it might be a good idea to give you a glimpse of what's ahead, wink. Even at this very moment, our best scientists, wink, are focused on only one thing, making your life better. While I can't reveal too much yet, we have been making great strides in the nanotechnology field, pushing us to the boundaries of what's possible. After all, Creo is here to accelerate everyone's growth. In the meantime, R&D has signed off on the release of several new equipment packs. Wink. Our best scientists have been racking their brains 24/7 to break new ground in medical science, outer space exploration, and molecular technology to help you take the first step to a better tomorrow. Are you along for the ride? Hey, there you go. Ted Anderson scanned the QR code. Wow, I actually got that good enough for it to be read on a scanner. I'm surprised I angled that well enough. But anyway, yeah, I like that note because it's like pretty clearly not like it pretty clearly has two meanings. I also like the implication that we're gonna go to space in the Surge 2. I don't know how broad of an implication that is though. Like I don't know if that's like to confirm that the Surge 2 is gonna have space shit in it, but like I mean clearly it's a wink and a nod to the player. Have I mentioned that I really enjoy this video game? Oh, wait, I probably better take this off before I get owned. Technically, we're already in space. When you think about it, isn't Earth kind of like space? The Surge 2, Dead Space 3. And, I mean, I wouldn't have too much of a problem with that, I guess. So, people want me to wear the spacesuit first, so we'll wear the spacesuit once I get it upgraded a little bit. Earth. It's just like space, except there's down. Oh man, that's true. Both games do involve cutting off their limbs. They being the operative word. In that I operate on their limbs until they are removed from their bodies. The spacesuit absolutely has a catheter. Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that this thing has a catheter. You know what I didn't do enough in the Let's Play that I regret? I didn't do enough of blocking attacks and then riposting, because like the block follow-up has the ability to launch enemies into the air, and I didn't find that out until after I recorded the Let's Play. So like there's all this Let's Play footage of me not launching people sky high when I could have been doing that for the whole game. Also, the Nano Ward weapon has a nice pretty purple glow. Jessica says, I enjoy this game, but my friends think I have awful taste in games. See, that's something I've noticed, is that people will shit on you for liking The Surge, but the joke's on them. The Surge is a fantastic video game. The Surge is an above-average video game in most aspects, so joke's on them for not enjoying it. It's okay. We can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind. Because your friends don't dance with The Surge. And if they don't dance, then, I mean, it's okay. I respect their opinion. I'm carrying around 100,000 tech scrap. What's that, What's that meme? That Simpsons meme where it's like, Chuckles, I'm in danger? It's that. But, yes, I will show off. On this stream, we will be wearing all of the DLC sets. I already have just given a brief overview of them, but now we're going to actually use them in gameplay, now that I am getting some upgrade materials to actually upgrade them for New Game Plus. The Surge has great ideas, but a lot of them are marred by poor execution. Yeah, in some ways. Like, it has some things that it could be better. The way the story is told being one of them, I think. I think I've talked about that a little bit. Like, The Surge is a great story told poorly. That's how I would describe the story and world of The Surge, is I would say, like, The Surge has a cool world that's not capitalized on, and a cool story that's told in a really dumb way. Or at least not an elaborate enough way, maybe. But you know how there's, like, some games where you can say, like, oh, I really like this game, but it's a flawed game? Like, The Surge is not one of those games. Like, The Surge is not one of the games where I would say, I like this game, but it's got a fundamental flaw that makes it so I can understand people not liking it. The Surge does not have this problem. This is not a fundamentally flawed game. It's just a good video game that people don't like because it's not Dark Souls. They go into this game expecting Dark Souls, and they don't get it, so they get upset because it's not Dark Souls. And you may think I'm exaggerating when I say that, but boy, the Steam forums sure are full of people wishing this game was Dark Souls.
Welcome, Warren.
That is one thing that they seem to have taken a lesson from Dark Souls, though, is the storytelling. Is, like, this game's story wants to be the Dark Souls storytelling kind of thing, where, like, they give you the hints and then you can piece it together yourself. However, problem is they don't give you enough of the hints. Alright, so now we've got some parts, so let's see if we can upgrade this. Holy crap, that's expensive. Jeez. That's a lot of scrap. Well. Oh well, that's okay. So what? Okay, I've got Angel 6 Mark 6. Okay, the only downside about New Game Plus, though, is that the colors wrap around. Like the color of the icon, like, it goes back to being the unupgraded beige color, so, like, it's kind of hard to tell at a glance what you do and don't have upgraded. And plus, this thing's name is the Angel 6, so it's like, it's confusing for this set specifically. People hate the Surge because it doesn't fillet them like Dark Souls. Oh, you're the chosen one deciding the fate of the multiverse. Yeah, maybe. That might be some aspect of it. But yeah, it's kind of tricky to notice what you have and haven't upgraded once you get to New Game Plus. So I'm gonna have to be checking this. So I have one arm and both legs unupgraded, which is fine. We don't need to have the whole set upgraded right now, because I mean we can still get its special effect just by wearing the whole thing. Like, I guess one good thing about New Game Plus in the Surge is that like everything does a ton of damage no matter what. So like wearing really highly upgraded armor will only protect you from 1 or 2 hits. Baselet says that someone they spoke to actually did refund the Surge because they didn't like playing as just a guy. That sucks. That's a really dumb reason to refund a game. Like, you're just a guy in most video games. Like, sure, some video games like assign you a legacy or a prophecy or something like that to make you special, like once the game starts, but like at the beginning of most video games you're just a guy. Like, that's not a real reason to refund a game unless you're like a picky video game eater, you know? Like, if you're gonna refund a video game because you're not the chosen one, like, that excludes you from playing, like, a lot of video games. It's true. Aren't we all just a guy? Like, male or female, until we are assigned our legacy, all we are in this world is just a guy. Very strange. That is very strange. Anyway, the Angel 6 set is really cool because it's focused specifically around heavy weapons. Like, the Rhino set that you can also get early on, you know, the Rhino set, the other starting set, is focused around, like, a little bit about tanking, kinda. Like, not really, but it has that sort of set bonus kind of thing going on. It increases your impact damage when you are under the effects of, like, of certain items. So it's good for, like, getting in there and knocking enemies down. Whereas this thing's got pretty high defense. So it's focused pretty nicely around, like, being able to take some punishment. Which is actually a common complaint of this game, is I actually think I mentioned that in the most recent Let's Play video, that, like, this game doesn't have, like, any way to really tank hits or anything like that. Well, they heard my complaints and they added one. I like this suit. This suit's got it's got a pretty fun bonus. It's kind of like a heavy armor version of the Lynx suit, almost, in how it, like, increases the speed of these codename weapons. But remember, you can also use it with, like, you know, there are one-handed weapons that have, like, the codename designation, so. It kind of sucks, too. Like, why even refund the... Okay, that's something that's even more baffling about refunding this game, is that this game has a demo. Like, The Surge is one of the few games these days that actually has a playable demo that is a real slice of the actual game. Like, The Surge's demo is this area. So, like, why would you buy the game and then refund it instead of just playing the demo? Like, even on consoles you can play the demo. It makes no sense. I don't get it. Restricted area. Security violation in progress. Oh. Yeah, it takes some finesse to keep this boss from falling on top of you when you knock it over. You pretty much have to dodge, like, right exactly when you knock it down. Enforce maximum punitive measures. Initialized. Like, you gotta be real quick. System analysis. Fair. But anyway, yes, that is very strange. Like, and it's like, the reason I keep harping on it is because it's a common complaint of this game. It really is. Like, a common complaint of this game is that Warren is just a guy. Like, he's not super, like, special in any way. He's just a guy that happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And it's like, why does that matter? Like, who cares? like I can understand complaints about Warren's characterization, right? Like, Warren is not the most, like, thoroughly developed character. He's not the most thoroughly developed video game protagonist by a long shot, you know? And I can understand complaining about that because, yeah, wanting to have a little bit more backstory for the guy you're steering around, like, okay, that's a fair complaint. What's not a fair complaint is complaining about, like, oh, he's not special in some way. So what? So fucking what, man? Right, exactly. I think that starting out as just a guy makes your accomplishments, like, really more impactful. Because, like, by the end of this game, technically speaking, he saves the world. Not as of The Surge 2. The Surge 2, unfortunately, seems to have made the bad ending be the canon one, but as of this game, like, you can stop the virus and save the world from being turned into nano-zombies. Like, fucking, and you're just a guy and you did that. Like, it would be so much less impactful if you were the chosen one destined to do it from the very beginning, you know? It's very strange, and it fits very well with the atmosphere of this game, to be put in that position. Let's get our drone. Oh, by the way, another thing that's really cool about this suit that they didn't have to do, but they did do, is oh, interesting. It skips the dialogue. Huh. I didn't know that. Anyway, another cool thing about this suit, if we go into Ansel again, you can see that they have made, like, custom helmet reflection, like, environment maps for every area. And I mean, this game's only got, like, 8 areas in it, but it's still, like, look at that. It's not like a generic reflection. Like, now it reflects the area that we are in. And it doesn't have, like, real-time reflections or anything like that, but they made a different environment map for every environment, which is pretty neat. Yeah, they put a lot of attention to detail into all the suits in this game, especially ones like this. Die Hard is the worst movie I've ever seen. John McClane isn't just a guy. Real-time reflections are hard as balls. Yeah, they are. Wait, does it actually have real-time reflections? Hold on. Wait. What am I looking at here? I can't tell, actually. Here, let's go out here. Let's go to the vending machine and see if it does. I actually can't tell. It actually might. Here, let's see. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's just like a okay, I see. It's just like a rotating sphere. Like a... Okay, I gotcha. The way they did this is they made it like, they made the environment map be curved like a fisheye lens kind of thing, so that it rotates when you rotate the camera. That's really neat. And also makes it a lot more dynamic. This is a big suit. This is probably the biggest suit in the game, I think. Like, this suit is far larger than, like, even the next largest. I think it's the puffy shoulders. The puffy shoulders really do a lot. That's how reflection maps work. Well, listen, I'm not a game developer, okay? I'm just amazed by technology, all right? How do you fit through doors? Very carefully.
Welcome. This unit unit is currently running on emergency power.
Do those
Services are limited at the moment.
do those shoulder canisters do anything? I think they're supposed to be air tanks, but they look like giant marshmallows. Also, consider me pleasantly surprised that the headlamp for this suit is actually useful, because like the headlamps on some of the suits in this game are completely useless. Like they don't illuminate a damn thing. But the red light on this one is nice. The canisters are for cooling. Maybe, yeah. That would also make sense, I guess. Is that a camera on the back of the suit? What is that on the back? It looks like that's a camera of some kind. Maybe it's a camera so you can see behind you. Because, I mean, good luck looking over your shoulders in this thing.
Do you require assistance, Lauren?
Anyone there?
Yeah, you don't want to help out NPCs in this game. It doesn't ever turn out well for them.
Come back anytime.
Ah, the canisters are for Kool-Aid. Okay, that makes sense. You know what? Now that you mention it, totally makes sense, especially with the red floodlight. It's filtering the light through the Kool-Aid. That's what it is. Now it all makes sense. Yeah, the suit completely blocks your vision, so of course you'd need to be able to look behind it. What are the intrinsic bonuses of this suit? Reduces your drone consumption. Oh, interesting. The arms increase your impact damage. Okay, so basically this suit makes you consume more stamina, but gives you more impact damage. So it really is geared towards like the heavy codename weapons, because like making them swing faster is really important. Interesting. The set bonus for this set makes it so that any weapon that is a codename weapon, like this one, or the weapon for the set itself, swings faster and builds up energy faster. And I think does more impact damage, right? Yes, attack speed, energy gain, and impact. Are there different kinds of damage? Yes, there are. So this game has elemental damage, crush damage, thrust damage, and slash damage. And everything is weak to something and strong to something else. But there are also implants that like affect your damage based on what kind of damage you deal, which is good. I find it really cool. Like the implant system is so unique. It's something that I haven't seen done like in any other game in this form. Like being able to completely change like your playstyle like at any time, like limited only by the core power you have, is like, it's such a cool system. Because like I really like that leveling up your character doesn't actually have anything to do with your attack power. That's something that bothers me about, say, you know, Nioh, fucking Nioh, and its fucking billion stats, or Dark Souls, which gives you more defense the higher leveled you are. The Surge does not have that problem, because leveling up your core power only grants you more slots and more, like, you know, more core power to assign implants to. Which is really cool. It's really cool that you can be as powerful or as weak as you have implants for. And, like, your level only limits, like, how much of that you can have. So, in a way, it still limits the character's possible, like, strength, while also not tying your stats directly to leveling up. Like, farming in this game doesn't actually get you anything. Like, there's no reason to farm until you're, like, core power 500 or whatever. Like, because it's all based around your implants. Like, you can only be as strong as the implants you have, which is great. It's a great system. Oh no. Oh no. Not another one of these guys. You leave Neo out of this. Listen, my core complaint about Neo is that it's got too much going on, okay? Neo does not understand the word simple. Oh boy. Well, at least this guy's not using like a crazy overpowered weapon. Because these guys can be using any weapon in the game. Like, I've seen these guys use like the final boss's weapon, and it's like, why would you punish me like this? Well, even Neo, right? Like, of all of the action RPGs, like, in this general, like, genre, like, I would say that I like Neo the least. I think Neo does the least correct, I guess. Or I would say that Neo is the least player-friendly of all of the games in this kind of action RPG genre. However, I will say that even Neo has, like, good sides. Like, all these games have good sides. They are all good at different things. Like Dark Souls is really good at having a consistent, like, explorable, understandable world. Like, Dark Souls is fantastic at signposting and making a world that makes sense and is also, like, fun to explore. Which is one of the Surge's weaknesses. That's one of the things that the Surge is not good at. But where Dark Souls fails is, like, consistency in the challenge, right? Like, Dark Souls has this problem where the games get easier as they go on because you have access to more tools and more power, and you get souls in higher amounts. So the enemies, like... So the enemies end up doing a ton of damage at the end of the Souls games and Bloodborne, like, because that's the only way they can continue to challenge the player. Like, even in Dark Souls 3's DLCs, that is a problem they have never solved. Meanwhile, the Surge excels at versatility, right? Like, the Surge gives you a ton of tools, and it lets you make your own fun. And, like, there are a ton of ways to play this game, and they're all really valid. And, like, you can tell that the developers put a lot of care and attention into the mechanics of this game, which is part of what makes it, like, so fun to replay, is that there are a lot of different ways to experience it. But where the Surge fails is where Dark Souls is strong. The Surge fails at world building, right? Like, the Surge's levels are very monotonous. Like, that's a complaint that a lot of people have that I kind of agree with, is that the Surge's levels don't have very much in the way of, like, signposting where to go, or like how easy it is to get lost, right? And the story for the Surge is told in a very poor manner. There is a consistent story in this game that's really interesting, but it's buried under so much obfuscation that it's kind of hard to figure it out unless you're like me and you, like, spend a lot of time trying to unravel the weird story of this cool game. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, there's Neo, which has the problem of overcomplexity, where, like, this game is semi-complex, Dark Souls is not really complex at all, and then Neo has the problem of just having too much shit going on at once at all fucking times. There's 1,000 different things that you need to pay attention to and remember and keep in mind, or else you're gonna get owned. But where Neo excels is kind of like the Surge. Like, Neo has a very arcadey style of gameplay. It's got a lot of internal consistency, right? Where, like, everything in Neo has the same level of challenge because it's just the kind of game they decided to make, you know? So, like, no matter how you play Neo, it will be exactly the same difficulty unless you take the time to break the game over your knee. So those, I feel like those are the three big players, right? The three different, like, the three different ways to make a game like this, and they all have their flaws, and they all do things wrong, but, like, they're all fun, and they all have their really good sides. Oh yeah, it's the Surge has really good environment design. It's just kind of hard to find your way around if you're playing it for the first time. Like, I know where to go. Like, I know everywhere you can go in this game because I've played through it like 15 times. But, like, for a first-time player, getting lost in those, like, orange maintenance tunnels is, like, a pretty common occurrence. And it's an understandable complaint. I really like the limb targeting system. Like, the limb targeting system was a good way to make this game feel unique. And it definitely does. Like, there's nothing else really like this. So I'm glad that the Surge found its niche. And it's a real shame that people dump on this game for no reason. For like, this game has a lot of complaints that you could make that are totally legitimate, but good luck finding a review that addresses legitimate complaints instead of like, oh, it's not Dark Souls. I wanted Dark Souls, and this isn't Dark Souls. It's like Dark Souls, but not enough like Dark Souls. Lords of the Fallen was bad, so this is bad. I saw a review that said that. I saw a review that said, like the Surge is tainted by Deck 13's dark history of mediocre video games, and it's like, they've only made one other game. And it was not bad, it was alright. Like, Lords of the Fallen isn't even that bad of a video game. It's just like a more primitive version of this game. Like, Lords of the... You want Dark Souls clones, you look at Lords of the Fallen. But either way, it's a very strange. The reviews of this game, you should go read some reviews of this game, because they all have the strangest, most nonsensical complaints. It's so weird. It's so very strange. Did they add any more offensive sets in DLC? Yes. So the light armor set makes it so that when you are at full energy, you regain health by attacking enemies. So like, it's really good for playing offensively and not focusing on healing items. It's really good if you want to spend your implants on things other than healing. In fact, we've been wearing this for a little while. Let's put that on. Here. We're gonna change up my implants and stuff. There. So this is I'm still not gonna try to embarrass myself by pronouncing the Greek guy's name, but this is the second set, with the set bonus being that it increases the healing of Medivoltaic implants. So it's really good for playing aggressively. And the weapon is really good for playing aggressively too. It's really weird. It really is strange that, like, there was it almost seems like there was a directed attempt to not understand and appreciate this game. It almost feels like some fucking conspiracy shit to say that, but that is how I feel about it. Is like, it seems like people were trying to bury this game and keep this game from being successful. Like, and it's odd. It's very odd to me. I am gonna sell some implants because it's not like I'm wearing them anyway. Here, let's put on a Medivoltaic injector because I think I have one. I think. There it is. Put that on. Let's sell some implants, because I don't really need all of these that I'm carrying around, and they give me lots of scrap. Value. We don't need this. I think in the long run, it pains me to say this, actually. I wish this weren't the case, but I think in the long run, Dark Souls is going to become kind of like Halo. Where Halo is looked back on fondly, but the things that people took from Halo, weapon limits, regenerating health and shields, all that stuff, the things that, the lessons that game developers took from Halo with the slow, clunky movement and all that stuff, ended up doing more harm to video games overall than good, and like, Halo is a good video game. It's a good series, but the impact that it has had on the games industry overall is kind of like a little bit on the negative side. Halo was revolutionary for first-person shooters. Like, it's you can still feel Halo's effects to this very day. However, not all of those effects were good ones, I feel. I think a bit of prejudice is against any game of Dark Souls' type not made by From. That, yeah, I think that is probably part of it. Here, we'll upgrade a leg, because like I don't have enough scrap for all of this. But it's okay. I upgraded the weapon, and that's what's important. So okay, let's run around with the Medieval Take Injector and see if that helps me at all. I haven't actually used this one yet. I have only used the Nano Ward set and the Tenshi set, so this will be my first time using the medical set. Oh, that's a pretty good floodlight. That one's like that one's actually on your body instead of like on your shoulders. So this one might actually be quite useful. Oh wow, you go you go fast with this thing. Oh man. Okay, so it seems that this set is based around going real fast. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. I was in the middle of a thought and I didn't finish it, and I'm sorry. Yeah, you gotta go fast, especially with this set. You must proceed quickly. The doctor is in. The doctor is in the market for some amputations.
This is Benberg.
Hey, it's Benberg. So listen up.
I don't know.
I wonder if Ben Burke is gonna appear in the Surge too. I kind of hope he does. And he the first thing he does is bye. The first thing he does is apologize for not being in this game.
Stay safe.
He's like, "Oh, sorry.
We can make it.
I was at the Creo facility when things went down the first time, man. I've seen things. You haven't seen me, but I've seen things." Yeah, you're right. Maybe the Surge needed waifus. Maybe the reason people dump on this game is because of a lack of waifus. Is it me, or do you run faster with this set equipped? Here, let me take a part of this off. I don't know, I can't tell. It kind of feels like you run faster. Weird. Irina is a great waifu. Yeah, well, I mean, until she goes insane. Spoilers. That's not spoilers. In fact, that's not spoilers because we already saw it happening in the Let's Play. It's kind of a foregone conclusion. But it's okay. Speedball said this earlier, but he is correct. Like, it really is like Dark Souls in that helping out NPCs is never a good idea for them in these games. Oh yeah, Irina's really good at handling a long staff, if you know what I mean. She's good in combat. She's got very high combat skills. Oh hey. Oh, I used my energy. I was gonna say, hey, we can finally see how much this thing actually uses for healing. Well, here, let's see. Let's see how good this is for Medieval Take Injectors. Because that is a pretty significantly low energy cost. Lame. However, with the increased energy speed, that's pretty good. And also, remember, we're on New Game Plus, so like, I have like 500 health right now. So like, for how fast that recharges, that's actually pretty good. it seems like this setup would be good for like not bringing like any like health injectors and using your implant slots instead for energy buildup. And you know what, like, again, like I said this earlier, but it really seems like this suit should have been given to you in the early game. Like, because it's not necessarily overpowered. Here, let's see how much health I gain when I'm at full energy. Yeah, look at that. That's like nothing. Like, it's pretty clearly like a small intrinsic bonus. Again, like, it will have much better effects in New Game than in New Game Plus, because, like, I'm running around with, like, I don't know, how much max health do I have? I have 543 max health, so you can't really tell the difference, but, like, it's so weird that this is one of the last sets that's given to you. Like, I really don't know why this one is at the end of the game. Yeah, this game's got pretty good use of chromatic aberration. I have it off. I have it turned off when I'm streaming because it wreaks fucking havoc with the bitrate, but it does look pretty good. Blah Blah says he bought Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm sorry that you did that, I guess. I don't really know how you want me to respond to that. I have fond memories of playing the old school Battlefront with one of my friends. I remember we spent long hours taking pot shots at each other because like we were both too cowardly to like try actually fighting each other.
I'm hoping it's safer there.
And like both of us were like terrible on a controller, so like neither of us would hit the other anyway. I don't remember. I was like not even 15. I was still like a child. Well, I'm glad the new Battlefront is at least enjoyable. And plus, like, people are really opposed to EA's scummy business practices, but it's like, voting with your wallet doesn't actually do anything, ever, in any case. So, like, if you think you'll be interested in a game, you might as well buy it no matter who made it. Because, like, the only way that voting with your wallet actually would do anything is if literally hundreds of thousands of people did it, and that has never been the case and will never be the case. So you might as well just buy whatever the hell you want. Unless it's affected by your moral principles, in which case, fuck it. Like, you can't change your own morals, I guess. Yeah, Dr. Warren is here to deliver his prescription of pain. Max Pain. Maximum pain. Yeah, people who play video games are like, they are notorious and infamous for being very bad at boycotting. Like, you know that Modern Warfare 2 boycott Steam image is still funny for a reason. It's not just funny because people boycotted Modern Warfare 2 and then played it anyway. It's also funny because of what it represents about people who boycott video games. People and the things they take objection to. Like, the things that people objected to for Modern Warfare 2's release was very silly. Like, there was not much reason to actually boycott it. Like, it was more of a moral outrage. Like, how dare video games change and be different? But also, like, even back then, it was because of, like, shitty publishers, you know, and that didn't change anything, and neither did not buying Battlefront 2. Oh, these enemies suck. Like this stupid circle, these stupid rolly wheel dudes are the worst enemy in this entire video game. They suck so bad. Hate these things. But hey, here's what's cool about the Medivoltaic Injector. Uh-oh! Yeesh. I am out of healing items. However, I still have the Medivoltaic Injector. So, like, even though I'm out of healing, I can still heal by building up energy and being aggressive, which is something this game really rewards, which is really cool. Right, that was a core complaint of the Modern Warfare 2 boycott. Like, that's what that image is from. That image is from a Steam group that was made because people were boycotting Modern Warfare 2 for not having dedicated servers. I think it ended up having dedicated servers in the end, didn't it? Like, I think that was just speculative news, wasn't it? I don't really remember because it was so fucking long ago now. But, like, either way, like, as a business decision, like, that they made independently of the fans of the game, boycotting it serves no purpose. Like, voting with your wallet there will not change anything. Like, either they will or won't do it, irrespective of your wishes as the consumer, you know. Dedicated servers is just one of those specific issues that it's like, you really have no say in that, like, one way or the other. Yeah, so Baselet brings up something that I mentioned at the start of the stream, which is this update seems to have added some new fog effects, like and some new, well, the new particles definitely, but it seems to have improved the quality of the lighting and added some new fog effects that look very cool. Like, the game just looks a little bit better now. Oh, give me your arm. I'm pretty sure it got patched in eventually. Well, I mean, there you go. Like, the thing is, though, like, they didn't do that because people boycotted it, you know? And, like, that I do remember. That I do remember is that people were patting themselves on the back for their successful boycott, but it's like, it's not because of boycotting that they did that, it's because the game made a fucking bajillion dollars, and all of a sudden they could afford dedicated servers for the game. Like, it's because people bought, it's, ironically, in the case of that specific boycott, it is because people bought the game that they were able to get what they wanted from the boycott. But my point in saying all this, right, is that, like, there is no documented evidence that voting with your wallet actually works. And yet, you will see people still to this day say, like, oh, if you don't buy the game, it'll send a message to the publishers and they'll make the game better, or like they'll do different practices. And it's like, well, no. When you don't buy a game because you are boycotting it, right? Like, if you actively choose not to buy a game that you otherwise would have bought, all you're really doing is, like, shafting the developers money that they earned by making the game. Not that they necessarily deserve your money just for their hard work. Like, nobody deserves them. Like, nobody deserves money just for working hard. Like, the intrinsic value of hard work, unfortunately, in our society is quite low. I wish it were higher, because boy, I sure would be making bank on my Let's Play videos. But anyway, like, if you avoid buying something you otherwise would have bought, all you're really doing is not enjoying a product that you would have enjoyed, while also sending a message to the publishers that you don't want that, and so they shouldn't make it anymore. Like, that's the message you send, is like, I don't want this, don't make it anymore. It's like, there's not another Fear game because people didn't buy Fear 3. There's not going to be a Dead Space 4 because not enough people bought Dead Space 3. Like, it's shit like that, where I am confident there would have been a Dead Space 4 if people had actually bought Dead Space 3. But Dead Space 3 sold pretty poorly compared to the first 2 games, so they shelved the series. They didn't even make any more spin-off games after that. But, and it sucks. It really does suck that voting with your wallet doesn't actually change anything, but, like, it just doesn't. Like it sends a message, but it doesn't send the message that people intend when they choose to boycott something like a video game. And that's a problem with the games industry, I would say. Like, just in general. Like, I think I am not the first person to say this, and I definitely won't be the last, but, like, one problem that the video games industry has is that the numbers game on, like, oh god, oh fuck me, oh no, 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 I don't want to fight this man. Anyway, one problem the games industry has is that the numbers game is, like, way inflated. Like video games cost millions of dollars to make these days, not because of the level of quality. Like, you could make a video game really, really good on a dirt cheap budget. Case in point, this game. This game's budget was tiny, and look at what they did with it. But, like, generally speaking, AAA video games, like, they cost a lot of money to make, and that has made publishers and developers, to a smaller extent, be very wary of, like, well, what does the market want? And if the market doesn't want that, then we won't make it. Fuck creative endeavors. Who needs creative endeavors when we got cold hard cash, motherfuckers? And it's a shame, because it really stifles creativity. But, like, unfortunately, that's just kind of how money works. Money ruins everything. Like, the amount of money that things cost to do is always will get bigger and bigger and never smaller until it's too late. Which is a shame. And that's not like a political thing. Like, that's just how economics works, really. Like, the cost of video games is going to keep getting higher and higher as they become a more mainstream industry, and that's especially evident with the Call of Duty games specifically, which are, like, the prime example of, like, getting way, way more expensive as time goes on. And like, it's not gonna go down. Like, it's just not. Like, until video games fade from the public eye as a fad and as, like, as something that is in every home, like, video games are just gonna keep getting more and more expensive. And the standards for returns on, like, this didn't make this much money, so we're not going to make another one, is just going to keep getting higher and more stringent. Which is a bummer. However, I'm really glad that we have the kind of environment where a game like this can be made, because clearly this game was a risk. But this game has sold really well, comparatively, for how much it cost to make. So, like, I'm glad that it paid off for the developers. Economics itself is a political thing. Well, but I mean separate from the political nature of it. Like separate from the politics associated with economics, like how people earn money and where money is, like, directed to and all that stuff. Separate from all of that stuff is the issue of what people are willing to pay. Like, regardless of the economy that you live in, like, you and everybody you know, even me, everybody has a defined limit for what they are willing to pay for certain things. Like, I will not ever pay more than $60 for a video game. Never. Under no circumstances. Unless it's like a super crazy special edition, I will not pay more than $60 for a game. And, like, 60 US dollars, like, you know, people living in Australia where video games cost a lot more, they have a different threshold for that kind of thing. But my point is, right, like, the price of video games is not influenced by that amount. Like, you and me, we don't have any say in what video games actually cost. Like, if we don't buy games that are $60, $70, $80, they're not going to stop making games be that price. They're going to keep being $60, $70, $80. It's just that less people will buy them, and they will make less creative games that are riskier to make because, like, they might not sell to everybody. Like, as a whole, video games eventually will start being marketed towards more and more safe audiences. Like, that's one problem that people have with mainstream games, is that they're marketed towards very wide ranges of people, and like it makes them kind of boring a little bit when a game is just accessible for everybody. And I've talked about that in the past a little bit. Accessibility is not a bad thing by any standard. However, sometimes it results in video games of certain genres, Call of Duty, Battlefield, similar, being homogenized in ways that limit their creativity in a lot of ways. Like, people didn't like the Call of Duty game where you go to space because it was different. Like, the I don't remember the title of it, but the Call of Duty game where you go to space and you have spacesuits and space battles and stuff, like, was one of the worst selling Call of Duty games in recent years because it didn't pander to everybody. Like, it went for a specific audience who liked the sci-fi future aspects of the previous Call of Duty game, and in that way they alienated a lot of people, and they were okay with that, but it resulted in them going back to fucking stupid brown and bloom war shit that they've been doing for years for the next game. And it all stems from the problem of games being really, really expensive, just by way of that's how it's always been and how it always will be. Like, it's an arms race. It's an arms race of increasing price, which results in having to market your game to increasingly wider audiences, which is, like, again, not a bad thing in itself, because, like, making your game so that anyone can play it is a hard thing to do. But again, it also really limits creativity and the risks that developers are willing to take. And it's a shame, because we could see a lot more games like this one if video games just didn't cost millions of dollars to develop. It's why the indie scene is blowing up, right? Because, like, not everyone has millions of dollars to develop a game with. And so, like, people developing games on a shoestring budget is getting a lot more accessible, which is nice, because it means there will be a market to compete with the AAA video games market that like, you know, has a much smaller price range. And I'm hoping that will help change things a little bit, and, like, inject a little bit of like less costly video games into the gaming marketplace a little bit. Games like this, because this game was made on a pretty small budget, and this game only cost $40 instead of the AAA price of, you know, $60 US, and it was a risk, and it paid off. So make more games like this, maybe. I don't know. I hope the things I'm saying make some amount of sense. You know? Like, again, divorced from politics. It's just the way of corporate greed. Like, that's what this fucking game is about, really. Like, nowhere is that more present than in the themes of this very video game. Like, corporate greed rules over us all, no matter where you live, which sucks, but I'm hoping that someday it won't in the video games market. And that's a pretty, there's a very slim chance of that happening in the current era of video gaming, but you never know. Video games these days, they have more indie developers, more people from non-English speaking countries, more, you know, minorities, women, other groups that were until now underrepresented, who are bringing in, like, their experiences, their unique voices into gaming and opening it up to a much wider audience. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Capitalism is the problem of our age. Well, it's not capitalism necessarily. Like, there's corporate greed in all society, man. Like, you can't go anywhere to escape the reach of capitalism. You can live in the woods and still succumb to the forces of corporate greed. That's just an intrinsic human flaw. Is that human beings always want more of the thing they have, and if they don't have it, they want it. If other people have it, they want it. And nowhere is that more omnipresent than fucking money. Capitalism doesn't attempt to put a clamp on corporate greed the way some ways of thinking do. Oh, I agree with that, right? Like, without actually going into politics talk, because it's not like that's really relevant to this discussion necessarily. Like, I agree that, you know, some forms of society like capitalism really celebrate corporate greed more than others, right? Like, there are definitely ways to run a society that involve less of that than others, you know? Or reward it less, I'll say. Or they reward it less. But, you know. It's just something that, like, again, it's omnipresent. It's something you can't escape from. It just manifests in different forms, you know. In this game, it manifests in the form of nanorobots trying to take over the world. I'm just glad that corporate greed doesn't manifest itself in our world the way it does in sci-fi video games. Because that would make life a lot harder for everyone involved. Oh god, it's you again.
I won't hear it said that Benjamin Burke let down his team.
Yeesh. God, this guy. Man, this guy does a lot of damage.
Even you can't miss a Smithy.
I think it's a little bold to claim that, like, the way things are inherent and therefore unavoidable and inevitable, so why even bother? That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Well, the way things are inherent and unavoidable. Like, that's where societal change comes into play, though, really. Like, society is always changing. Like, again, corporate greed is one of those things that never changes. It has always been there since there were 2 human beings on this planet, and it will be here until there is 1 human being on this planet. However, that doesn't mean that you have to just accept that, and that's, again, where, like, the indie games scene comes in, right? Like, that is where people have said, well, no, video games don't have to cost millions of dollars to make, so, like, I'm gonna make one from my fucking bedroom. Like, look at Stardew Valley. Like, Stardew Valley just had recently, like, a big essay on the developer and how he kind of rose to indie game stardom with just 1 game that he made by himself, you know? Like, it's possible to do that these days, thanks to the tools and the accessibility of the internet. So, like, even with the omnipresence of, you know, billion-dollar video games dominating the home entertainment system market, like, thanks to the fucking Xbox One, like, you can still break into that market without having to do what other developers do. And, like, that's where things can change, right? Oh, fuck this guy. I don't want to fight this guy anyway. That is where things can change. That's where you don't have to accept the way things are. Because that is just the way things are. Like, it sucks, but, like, society is not going to change just by your actions. It has to take the actions of a lot of people at once doing the same thing with the same goals. And, like, hopefully, and that's what I'm hoping. That's what I was just saying, is, like, hopefully things do change. Oh god, this boss. Let's hope I don't swing through his fucking ankles again. Let's hope his hitbox actually is kind to me this time. Doesn't seem like it's gonna be. Whoa, what is that? Ah! Whoa! Ah! I don't think I have ever seen that boss do that attack. Is that... Maybe that's a New Game Plus thing, but like, I don't think I have ever seen that boss do that. I just got set on fire just because. What a bunch of bullshit. And thus video games will solve capitalism. That's not what I'm saying! Don't put words in my mouth! Like, I'm not trying to dig myself out of a hole here. Like, I'm not in a hole. I'm just saying the things that I feel about, like, about video games and how much it costs to make them. Like, the things I'm saying are true. Like, it's not, like... It's not my opinion. It's demonstrable fact that, like, indie game development has reduced the overall price and cost of AAA game development. And were it not for the recent indie game scene making games like, say, I don't know, like someone brought up The Witcher, or like the latest Serious Sam, which was not a great game, but like it's still a AAA game, like, and it didn't cost much to make it. Like, it is allowing AAA developers like CD Projekt Red or Crow Team to make actual AAA games that don't cost a lot of money. And like, and thanks to the efforts of people like them making relatively good games that lots of people buy on a budget that's pretty small, things are gonna change. And we have that owed to indie games getting that started. Well, I know what you meant. I know what you meant saying that, you know, The Witcher is one of those Eastern European type of games, but I'm using it. It's not an indie game. It's not an indie game. Like, but I'm not saying it's an indie game specifically. I'm saying that it has those same kind of like economics behind it in its development and like the process that it took to, you know, make it. Yeah, it's a step in the right direction, and I'm hoping that we continue to take more steps in the right direction. Man, this boss is really hard on New Game Plus. This thing is taking a lot of punishment. Like, these legs take so much more damage on New Game Plus. Wow. I mean, I think video game marketing is in the right place. Did a guy just drop down into this fight? What the fuck? What? Oh my god. Oh, that's different. Oh, that's not good. Okay, this has thrown a wrench into things. Ugh. Oh, the fire hurts him though. Oh my god, he attacked the boss! Is he fighting the boss? He was. Oh, that was weird. Okay, cool. That was very strange, but okay. Welcome to the Surge Neo Edition. I gave up on this convo and CJ said, that's not what I'm saying, but it is inherent and inevitable. Well, it's just human psyche, man. Like again, like, we have an entire documented human history of, like, of greed being an intrinsic part of being a human. Like, it's just something that we have to accept and work around. Because, like, even in the little things in life, you know? Fucking squeezing the last bit out of a tube of toothpaste because you don't want to buy another one. Even though there's, like, clearly not enough toothpaste in it for one more brush of your teeth anyway. Like, even shit like that has psychological founding in, like, a human being's desire to get the most out of what they have, while also appealing to the sensibilities of, like, well, I just want more. Why don't I have more of this thing that I don't have any more of? Like, we as humans in the first world have, like, completely erased that from everything except for the corporate world. Like, in the third world, they still have struggles, like, with, you know, like, things like basic human necessities, you know. But, like, in the first world, like, we don't have that problem, and it has been replaced with, like, a much more focused issue, I guess, where it's, like, I don't know. I don't really want to, like, I don't really want to turn this stream into, like, let's chat about psychology and sociology.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, it's not that all cultures are super greedy. It's that people are super greedy. Like, it is not a controversial thing to say
I
that.
hope you're okay.
It is maybe not objectively true, because what is objectivity when it comes to human psychology, you know? But, like, it is as true as you can prove it to be without it being objective. Like, it really is. Like,
Try to get there if you can.
and there's stuff that you can do about it to nullify that in society. It's true. Like, you can remove human greed from the elements of how a society functions. However, it's still going to be there in the people themselves.
Next stop, Resolve Biolabs, Blue Sky Station.
No, hang on. I know, maybe that was Ben Burke. Talking to Blind Sally and 9 Gear Crow about Killzone. Okay, you pick up the cutting edge stuff from the guys themselves. Like, they plopped some new enemies around in the game world, and you can find them and cut their limbs off just like any other enemy, and that will give you the parts. So I kind of like this set. This set is really good for boss fights. Like, it's great for
Quarantine zone. Please remain in operations until all potential sources of danger have been eliminated.
Thanks. It's great for boss fights because it's not like you have very much to do with your energy anyway, you know, during a boss. So let's see. Do I want to wear the Nano Ward set yet? I don't really have enough parts to upgrade it yet, do I? Here, let me. That's weapons. Body gear. Oh god, this menu. This menu is so hard to navigate once you get your hands on, like, a ton of equipment. I want to sort this by newest, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, I can upgrade everything except for the body. Alright, we'll put on the Nano Ward set. Sure. I've already got the Dark Star upgraded, so I don't even need to spend any scrap on that. But okay, I guess I will sum up what I was saying, right? I will sum up what I was saying with, like, I am not trying to say that, like, all people are... I'm not saying that all people give in to their intrinsic greed and all people are only doing things on this earth because they feel they are owed more than they have. That's not what I'm saying. That is a straw man that I would not put forward. I think the point of view I have is more nuanced than that. What I am saying is, like, as just generally in human society, we have eliminated that from our day-to-day life, and that's a good thing that we have done that, because it makes life a lot easier for all of us to not have to worry about having to fucking, like, having to compete with your neighbors to have, like, the best yard or whatever. Like, if you can beat up your neighbors in Mortal Kombat, you get to have a bigger yard than them. Like, we have eliminated that from our society, because, like, you don't need that to have a functioning society. That would be one way to have a functioning society, I guess, but this is not Mad Max. We don't need that shit. But the reason that I brought all that crap up is because in the corporate world, like, say, publishing video games, like, that's still a really important part. And the only way to remove that part is to show that it's not necessary to have it. Is to show that video games don't need to cost $1 billion bajillion to make. And that's hopefully gonna happen. And I mean, I just don't think it's too controversial to say that, you know? Like, I'm not JonTron spitting bio-truths, getting myself removed from Yooka-Laylee. I know. If only I could get a house just by being better than someone at PUBG. Or Fortnite. Last one standing gets to have a mansion down the street. If you were secretly JonTron, I would have to unfollow you. I doubt very much that people ever beat each other up for that much of a non-reason. Well, I understand that. I understand that. It's just like, it's supposed to be an extreme example. Like, like I didn't want to use an example of a society that has actually existed. So instead I went for Mad Max. Which, I mean, I don't live in Australia. Maybe Australia really is like Mad Max.
For your own safety, please stay within operations.
So the Nano Ward set is based mostly around blocking. The set bonus for the Nano Ward set generates like an explosion that knocks over enemies when you successfully block one of their attacks. And it's not super good against these vacuum cleaners, I don't think. Actually, I don't know. Here, let me try it. Come here. Come here and try to hit me. Oh yeah, that's actually really good. Never mind. Okay. And it's not too hard to pull that off either. Yeah, blocking in this game is really useful. More useful than in Neo. Oh, but these vacuum cleaners are fucking me up, man. Maybe I should turn on combat slowdown. Because I have that turn... Oh my. You okay? He's okay. He's fine. I have combat slowdown turned off because it slows me down during a speed run. Alright, here. Let me turn that on. There it is. Also turn that back on. There. So now it'll be a little bit easier to block stuff. The vacuum cleaner section is set up so you can stealth through it. Man, I haven't ever thought about doing that. Okay, I need to be better. I need to be better at fighting in video games. Wow! Oh, look at Warren twerk. I hope you can see what I said a little bit earlier about the zombie men being significantly tougher than the other enemies in the area. Because nowhere is that more true than this area, where most of the enemies are squares. Squares that shoot lasers. It's just a rectangle robot. Yeah, I didn't know you could stealth around these guys. I've never actually tried it. You know what's throwing me off? What's throwing me off with the zombies is like I believe their official title is Patchwork Zombies. I think that's what they're called because they wear like, you know, just random armor sets. What's throwing me off about them is that there aren't really any other enemies in the game that use like a full weapon moveset. Like like fighting one of the Patchwork Zombies is pretty much like fighting another player, because they can use all of the same moves you can, and that makes them a lot more dangerous than normal enemies. That's probably also why they do so much damage, is because like they're using the same weapons that you use instead of like designated fake NPC weapons. Right here. Okay, note to self: don't try to block the single rigged weapons, because they hurt. The scrap they give you when you kill them is definitely worth it, though. Like, it's absolutely worth fighting these guys. It's just a little bit tough, because they're very hardy opponents. Also, they can heal. Like, if you run away, they will, like, stand still for a second, and then they get all their fucking health back. Sure, I can show you the set bonus of the new armor sets. Here, let me put them on for you. So, this is the Nanoward armor. This is the one that's found in the nucleus. It reduces stamina costs for blocking and executes an explosion when you time a block perfectly, which is pretty useful for, like, defensive type of playstyles. The Tenshi set is found in Central Production, and it increases the attack speed, energy gain, and impact for all weapons with Codename in the title, which includes its own set weapon. And then there's the light armor set that I don't know how to pronounce, that increases the usefulness of Medivoltaic implants in addition to increasing your energy, increasing your health when you attack while your energy is full. So yeah, really good sets. They are very good, and they have really good bonuses. I would say that this one actually has the least effective bonus of all of them, because blocking is not. It's okay. Like, blocking is good in this game, but it's not. Like, dodging is way superior. Which I guess is what this set attempts to rectify a little bit. Is like. This set makes it so that blocking is a little bit more viable. But it's still not as good as dodging, because dodging doesn't use very much stamina anyway. Asclepius. Anything special about the 3 new weapons? The one I'm using right now goes with the Nanoward set, and it is really fast. Like, this weapon is definitely the standout. The other two are just pretty much normal weapons, but this one is the standout because it attacks really fast. So, of course, with the trade-off being that you don't get it until like right near the end of the game. I will say that they are definitely manufactured for New Game Plus. Like having used them on this stream, I think I can safely say now that they are made for use for New Game Plus, because like you don't get 2 of them until the game's almost over anyway. Eesh. Okay, that vacuum cleaner killed itself. Oh, this drone is being such a pain in my fanny. I hit the button to heal, but I was too late. Well, anyway, this is a bad level for showing off the, this is a bad level for showing off the Nanoward set. I should have shown this one off first, but you people wanted the spacesuit, so we did it. But anyway, I think that's gonna do it for now. I'm gonna go and eat lunch. Armor sets with activated powers in the Surge 2. Oh, that would be great. What would add to the armor system? You know what I think would add? A little bit more diversity between, like, light and medium armor. Because, like, heavy armor is heavy armor. Making heavy armor more viable also would be something I would do. But, like, as it is, there's pretty much no reason to wear any of the light armor sets besides the Lynx set. Because, like, the light armor sets just don't offer enough defense. Like, as soon as you get, like, the Scarab gear, like, you might as well put it on and never take it off. Because, like, the light armor sets just don't give you enough protection. The light armor sets don't give you enough protection, and the heavy armor sets don't give you enough stun resistance. Those are the things I would change that I hope they fix in the Surge 2. I have not thought about that, blah blah, but I might do it someday. It might be fun. So, okay. Thanks for streaming and for philosophical debates about human greed. I mean, this is an appropriate game for it. This is an appropriate game to have that debate, even if it didn't really go anywhere. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks for checking out the DLC for me and with me. Thanks for being here for me and checking out the DLC with me. I'll see you later. That's right. The Surge is 50% off on Steam. Buy this game. It is fantastic. Support local businesses if you live in Germany. See you later, everybody.